We've got 10 Am I the Devil Reddit stories for you guys today. Starting it off with, should I go for it with my brother's girlfriend if she's giving me all the signs? This one does in fact have an update. I cannot wait to see how this one goes. But stick around for 9 more absolutely stupid Am I the Devil Reddit stories, including I accidentally got aggressive with my girlfriend and made the worst impression to all of her friends. How do I fix this? And of course, ending it off with, would I be the a-hole for ending it with a girl via a poem? Alrighty, chat. Y'all know the drill. Let's lock in here. Should I go for it with my brother's girlfriend if she's giving me all the signs? Posted it in r/relationship advice. We have a 21 male OP, a 19 male brother, and a 19 female girlfriend. I will call my brother C and my brother's girlfriend S. This is so messy. I am pretty close with my brother, but I honestly feel he doesn't deserve his girlfriend. So my brother and his girlfriend have come to our grandma for a week they have off. They have been here for 5 days. They won't leave for 3 more, and it's killing me. My little brother is not the best looking in the family. He's just not. Since he started seeing his girlfriend, he's gone to the gym and bulked up a bit and changed his hair and his eating habits. Not because she forced him. She loved him even when he was chubby. He said he wanted to start working out and eating better to get into the same level of attractiveness as her. My best friend, she is a girl, and I both agreed beforehand that she is very good looking just from her pictures with my brother on social media and stuff. My brother and his girlfriend came to visit my grandmother and I was there because I'm currently living with her. Not only is she ridiculously hot, she's funny and smart too. She's pre-med and is taking a lot of hard classes that my brother says she's been breezing through. She is the world's easiest person to talk to. The first night she came to visit, she was quiet, as this was the first time meeting extended family for her. The next day, my brother had a migraine and she wanted to stay home with him and take care of him. But I convinced her to go to the mall with me and my brother encouraged her to. We spent the day at the mall together, we played with puppies at a store and shopped a bit and got lunch. I don't think I've ever gotten along with someone as well as I've gotten along with his girlfriend. She is beautiful, witty, and basically my ideal partner. I have quickly developed strong feelings for her. It gets really fucking messy from here. My brother was showing me some memes on his phone and accidentally swiped by a nude of hers. He thought I wasn't looking at his phone, but I did manage to see it. I know this is really bad, but when he got up to go to the bathroom, I unlocked his phone and went to look at it. I couldn't help myself. I've already mentioned that I think she's hot, so I won't go into detail about how I felt about the picture because it's probably obvious. I felt so guilty about it. It hurts every time. It hurts every time to read this fucking thread. It's just, don't look at someone's naked photos unless they sent that to you and they consented to it. That should just be a fucking given. Okay, all right. Oh, God. After this incident, I think people started noticing me becoming uncomfortable near her. My brother, my mom, and my grandma asked me about it. Eventually, his girlfriend asked me if she had done anything to offend me, and I said no. I came to my senses and stopped acting like a douche. I asked if she wanted to go to the grocery store with me. She said sure. I thought it would just be the 2 of us, but my brother tagged along as well. We went to the grocery store together, went back, and ended up driving to the city in the afternoon. I don't want to give away anything that might identify me, which is an hour from where we live. My brother fell asleep in the car, and again, it was just his girlfriend and me talking. She ended up climbing from the back seat to the front to talk to me. We talked and joked the whole way into the city, and I just knew something was there. I did something stupid and I told her that I wish we'd met in high school, and she replied that she thinks we would have been best friends. Ouch. However, once we... Wait. So she friend-zoned you? She friend-zoned the fuck out of you? And you are like, wait a minute, hold on. I think she likes me. I know dudes can be stupid about this shit, but bro, come on. She hit you with the, you're such a good friend. And you were like, haha, I got a shot. However, once we reached the city, she was back being lovey-dovey with my brother. It sucked because I wanted to hold her hand so bad. I think they felt bad for me because yesterday was Valentine's Day and I don't have a girlfriend, so they didn't kiss or anything, and they just looked at each other like they're in love. My questions are the following. I know she can tell that we have a good connection, so should I go for it? I really want to tell her my feelings this evening. What's the best way to do that? Thanks. Chat, I hurt. This hurt. Why? How did he possibly get that? Oh, hey, you don't think maybe, you know, it's her first time meeting you guys? She's just being friendly and trying to make a good impression on the family that she might marry into if this goes well? If your sibling brings their new partner home and you develop feelings for them, you're just a dickhead. There's no justification there. There's no, oh, we had great chemistry. Oh, if we would have met in high school, we would have been perfect to each other. Like, no, bro. Any person that your sibling brings home should not be on the table to have attraction to. Does that make sense, chat? Like, go to therapy. Bro needs therapy so bad. Although, guys, chat, let's be honest. I know I'm saying all this shit, chat, but this is the picture that I posted on my YouTube channel, and people are eating this shit up. It is my most liked photo on my YouTube channel, and it's a photo of me and my sister's boyfriend in a very intimate embrace with my son. Chat, am I a hypocrite? I love that photo. I'm glad you love that photo, you guys. I did specify pictured me and my sister's boyfriend in an intimate embrace with my son. That did not stop the comments. Very cute homosexual couple. You guys are too funny. Y'all are funny as fuck. In all seriousness, I'm not, like, I would never hit on my siblings' partners. That is an unspoken line. Like, where do you go from that? Even if it works, what do you do? Hey, brother. Sorry about that one. Hope we can still be family. In what world? Not that this family sounds insanely close by any means, but who? Why? How? Where did you think that was gonna go? Update. I am in love with my brother's girlfriend. So against Reddit's and my better judgment, I spoke to my brother. As you can imagine, all hell broke loose. The guilt was eating me up, and I told him about the feelings I had for his girlfriend. I also came clean about looking at her nudes and apologized profusely. This was about 3 hours ago. My brother punched me in the face and busted my lip. He went to our grandma and told her that he didn't feel comfortable with me in the house. My poor grandma was so confused, and my brother told her vaguely that I acted inappropriately with his girlfriend and violated her boundaries. He went into his girlfriend's room and asked her to pack her things so they could leave and find a hotel to stay in. All I could hear was her saying, "What? Why? What's wrong?" He took her and left to stay in Atlanta, promising my grandma he'd call and explain when he got there. He just called via her landline, and they will be getting lunch tomorrow. I received a text from his girlfriend about a half hour ago. I copy-pasted it. Honestly, this is ridiculous that I even have to say this. You violated your brother's trust and my trust. The pics weren't meant for your eyes. I love your brother, not you. It's never gonna happen. You've ruined any possible friendship we could have. I am not angry, but I can't forgive this, and I believe you need therapy. Good luck, OP's name. I hope you get the help you need. She cooked. Bro definitely does need therapy. He needs therapy and to educate himself on what it means for somebody to actually have feelings for you. Like, nothing that the girlfriend was doing was any indication that she had feelings for OP. I am sitting here bawling in bed while my grandma knocks on the door to ask what's wrong. Reddit, what do I do? What are the steps to take to fix things with my brother? How do I apologize to the girlfriend? How do I tell my poor grandmother? Thanks in advance. I should have listened to your advice. I don't know what Reddit's advice was, but I'm guessing it was to not say anything to the brother. While I don't think it was a great idea to talk to the brother, I'm also down for the fact that he's being held accountable to his actions, because who else would hold him accountable in person for his actions? Shit, bro. I don't think there is any coming back from this. I mean, if I'm that brother, I'm never trusting OP ever again. I think the only maybe directly fixable thing here is I think maybe you should talk to your grandma and let her know about how you fucked up and make sure that she hears it from you. I think taking accountability for your actions shows that you truly are apologetic for it. I can't get a good sense if OP's actually apologetic from this update, but I mean, that's a step to actually being apologetic, is taking accountability. Her reaction will be better for you if you're the one who communicates that you fucked up rather than somebody else communicating it. But yeah, bro, I just think you got to go to therapy and be on your knees begging for your brother and his girlfriend's forgiveness for like the rest of your life until they maybe decide to forgive you. Def a situation where you genuinely apologize, move on, therapy it up, and accept the consequences, whatever they are. Agnew, that is a great way to put it. This is perfectly just, you made this bed, bro. You gotta sleep in it. Who knows? Maybe the bed will get better in time, but you fucked up that bed. I accidentally got aggressive with my girlfriend and made the worst impression on all her friends. How do I fix this? We have a 29 male OP, 29 female girlfriend. One of the worst possible scenarios that I've been afraid of happened. I don't know what got into me, and I regret it incredibly. It's going to be a long story, but I think it's necessary for context. We've been together for a few months and it's been amazing. In fact, I have never met a woman who likes me so much ever before, and it seems mutual. So he's saying that this woman likes him so much and it seems mutual, which is saying it seems like he feels the same way about her. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Dude, she's like so in love with me and seems like I also love her. Like that's basically what he's saying. For the New Year's Eve, she invited me to a party with all of her friends, quite a lot of people. Usually she claims to be introverted and I extroverted. I get along with people quite well, so I said sure. We get to the place and I felt so out of place and awkward the whole night. I couldn't vibe with anyone there. It's also the kind of party where people just dance and drink until they pass out, and that's not really my thing. So I was greeting everyone left and right, and I got so overwhelmed that I started being mean. Unfortunately, that's my defense mechanism under stress with strangers, and I made some sarcastic and mean jokes with her friends. I apologized immediately every time to them, even admitted to being overwhelmed with the sheer amount of people I don't know, and the atmosphere so far out of my comfort zone. I talked overly loud, and in the moment I didn't realize it, but I was all acting so strange and weird and being genuinely a creep. I was insanely out of place. Not even the guy in the corner kind of strange, but I tended to overcompensate with being loud, controlling, and mean. Eventually, I got a bit more relaxed and we went to dance. For a few minutes, I was actually enjoying myself dancing with my girlfriend when she told me to chill because I'm moving like I want to beat someone up and I act agitated, which was probably true. And that's the moment when I sort of snapped. We were holding hands and I don't know what got into me, but I squeezed her hands way too tight to the point where I hurt her. But more so than physically, I hurt her emotionally. We went outside and I apologized and talked it out. And in the meantime, I made a couple of more sarcastic / mean remarks. I apologized and talked it out and then made more mean and sarcastic remarks. What? This guy is just a walking contradiction. He's like, oh, I'm usually like this, but then I act like that. That's a complete opposite of what I just told you. I think this dude is just severely in denial of who he is as a person. I think he's an asshole. I think he has a lot of anger and hatred towards other people and can't take any accountability for it. He's like, oh, it was just this one-off thing where like, I was kind of a creep and kind of mean to people and was super overstimulated. Like, no, bro, let's be honest. You're probably a fucking dick. I'd probably put some money on that one. By the end of the night, I couldn't take it anymore and I left soon after the clock hit midnight. We talked some more and made up, but the next day she did tell me that I scared her in that moment, to which I promised it would never happen again. I cried the whole night when I got home and I'm not the type to cry easily. In fact, I don't know if I ever cried so much in my entire life. Not even when I was a kid. Partially because I fucked up bad with her friends, but mostly because I did something I never thought me capable of, hurting her like that. So now all her friends probably despise me, even worse if they actually saw me doing that to her. She lost part of her trust in me and I can't go through the day without getting the flashbacks from last night and feeling like crying whenever it happens. Any advice is welcome, really. How do I fix this fuck up? Obviously to me right now, it feels like the relationship is doomed, which it may or may not be. I mean, bro, like, fuck the relationship. I don't even think you should be in this relationship. I think you need to end it if you actually care about this woman. You need to go to therapy for yourself. Yourself is fucked up. The relationship would be fine if you weren't as fucked up as you probably are. This man is insane for the lack of awareness he has. This lack of awareness around, hey, bro, if you're doing these things, it probably means there's something really fucking wrong with you. And you probably need to do some therapy and take a step back from a relationship that you say that you care about this person, yet you physically harmed them and act like an asshole around all their friends. I don't know, maybe we're getting a little silly here, but I think that's a great idea. It's a lot of double speaking and contradictions as well as making justifications as to why they acted out in a way in the name of overstimulation. Go to therapy. That's what I was trying to say, Alina. I think you said it a lot better than I did. Like, just a walking contradiction. Like, all he did was like, oh, I'm like this, but I actually did this. Did he say he was also under the influence? I don't think so, because he was saying his thing isn't getting drunk, which honestly, even more red flag. Like, if this is how you are and you aren't even intoxicated, I can't imagine the type of person you would be when you're intoxicated. Am I the a-hole for falsely accusing someone of grooming? You know, it's gonna be a crazy story when they started off with, I know I might sound like a terrible person, but hear me out. I'm a 47-year-old mom to my 16-year-old daughter, Clara, who attends a youth group. There's a boy in the group named Harvey, who is autistic, low functioning, and between 13 to 16 years old. The youth group also has a leader named Tyler, who is 21. Clara started telling me about what seemed like clear favoritism between Tyler and Harvey. which upset me. For instance, they went to a movie where Tyler bought Harvey popcorn and snacks, but Clara and the other kids had to pay for their own. Another time, they stopped at McDonald's, and Tyler paid for Harvey's meal, but no one else's. On a separate occasion, they went to a place with a shop, and Tyler bought things for Harvey, but not for the other kids. Tyler seemed to pay much more attention to Harvey. Yeah? Don't come back. Means it's stream time. I have the man. I have the baby boy. Baby boy will be here for stream. Oh, are you done? Okay. He said good. He said bye, Dad. Oh. He's stuck. Oh, you're good. Oh no. He said I want the high ground. Oh, okay. Baby boy wants to feel taller. All right, pretty boy. Oh, you coming back down? What's up, baby boy? What's up, sweet man? He's just so cute. Everyone tell my son how handsome he is. Come here. Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't. I don't think he wanted that. I'm sorry. Are you okay? Okay, he's fine. He's chilling. He might rub his face on the camera lens. Sometimes, every once in a while, we get lucky. Oh no. He said, just kidding. It's not work time. It's me lay on your mouse time. Look at him. How am I supposed to read Reddit with this adorable kitty? Oh. Okay, don't do that. We don't do that. He also somehow changed my camera? Is Beans the producer now? Beans said, no, that's not the right camera, Dad. That doesn't show my angles right. I probably shouldn't be like giving him pets and stuff because now I'm just solidifying that this behavior is okay. But also look how cute he is. Give him treats. All right, we could arrange that. It's in a little heart. Oh, he maybe smells it. You don't fuck with a purr pop like that? Oh. No, that's only you. Wait, you almost got it, buddy. You gotta give it a harder bite. Bite it as hard as you bite my arm. I know you can do it. I have scars to show how hard you can bite. You can do this. He doesn't want to commit. Oh, we moving? Chat, he might have given up. He couldn't break him. Look how close he was. He literally almost had it. I'm just gonna put this in his food dish so maybe he can fuck this up himself if he wants to. Tyler bought things for Harvey, but not for the other kids. Tyler seemed to pay much more attention to Harvey than anyone else. This bothered me, so I decided to talk to Harvey to get to know him and understand the situation better. During our conversations, Harvey would often mention going places with Tyler, such as the store. I also noticed they were always sitting together, often holding hands, and sometimes Harvey would sit on Tyler's lap, which seemed strange to me. The final straw was when I saw Tyler kiss Harvey on the cheek. Okay, I'm guessing there's a huge twist in here. Honestly, I'm kind of with OP right now. I'm waiting for the devil to kick in. I'm waiting for it to kick in, but low-key, I see this. I am also thinking the same thing. How old are they? I forgot. Tyler is 21. This kid, Harvey, is between 13 to 16 years old. I'm praying that we're missing context and they're related or something, but low-key, if OP doesn't know that, I'm a little bit on OP's side. At that point, I felt I had to do something, so I filed an anonymous report. About 3 weeks later, I noticed both Tyler and Harvey were absent from the group for a while. Then one day, Tyler returned with Harvey holding his hand. That's when I learned the truth. Tyler is Harvey's older brother and also his caregiver. In essence, Tyler is like a parent to Harvey. I had no idea and I feel absolutely horrible for falsely accusing someone. I truly thought I was doing the right thing to protect someone vulnerable. I'm posting here to ask what I could have done differently and to understand where I went wrong. I mean, listen, could OP have done a better job at finding out the backstory a little bit more? Probably, but also I'm seeing this without that context. I may be doing the same thing, bro. I don't know. I mean, they put in the title OP clearly overstepped, but I'd much rather have the misunderstanding than do nothing about it. I don't know if I'm cooking with that, chat, but I mean, what if that's the case? I just think stepping in is better. I think stepping in is the right move just to make sure that kid's safe, even if it's uncomfortable, even if they had to have an awkward conversation. At the end of the day, OP was just doing it because they truly believed that that child was in a dangerous situation. I don't really understand why we're calling them the devil for that. I'd much rather have someone overstep there than understep. Tyler and Harvey relationship still creepy. A child shouldn't be between 13 to 16 sitting on their caregiver lap, kissing them on the cheek. Normally, I would say yes, Julianne, but Harvey is autistic and low function. functioning, which makes me think that they probably act more like a child, which, I don't know, I guess you could argue that maybe that's not the appropriate age to be getting a kiss on the cheek from their parental / brother figure. But I don't know, I feel like maybe I'm not as qualified, what do you call it, like socially acceptable displays of affection towards a family member who has autism, because I've never had to deal with that. I don't think I really can weigh in on that too heavily. Compared to the other devils in that subreddit, this is very tame. That's how I feel, Fiona. I am thinking of divorcing my Japanese wife due to cultural differences. Is her attitude really acceptable as a partner regardless of culture? We have a 31 male OP and a 38 female wife. We've been married for a little over a year, and problems only started coming up after I proposed / getting married. Contempt, frequent arguments, and me not understanding Japanese culture to suit her standards as a partner. I'm American living in Japan for 4 years. Today is 12/31 and is a day widely known as house cleaning for families around the country. She didn't once mention this to me the 3 years we've been together, and all those times we never did New Year's Eve cleaning. I told her last night that I was going to go to the gym in the morning, so I would be waking up early to do so. She acknowledged it as I was going to bed earlier than usual. In the morning, I wake up early to finish my chores, walking / feeding our dog, doing and hanging our laundry, and as I'm getting ready to leave, I wake her up to tell her I'm going to the gym, and she says, "Let's go somewhere, it's the last day of the year." I told her I would come home earlier than I had planned so we could do something together. 3 hours later, I call her on my way home and ask her what she wants to do. She says I've been cleaning all morning without my help and I should help her. I rush home so I can help her, and she starts attacking me, saying I don't know Japanese culture and that I should have been helping her clean when she never once mentioned it to me until after I left home. I tell her, of course, I will help her, and started wiping the windows and cleaning the counters in our home. She continues to belittle me, saying that I don't know the culture and that I should study more about Japanese culture so I can do these things without being asked to. I'm gonna try to word this because I'm not confident on this. I do think, hey, you are in their country. You should absolutely educate yourself on the different cultural, I don't even know what to call this, like norms or holidays or whatever. If you've been there for 4 years, you should maybe have gotten wind about this. That being said, and this is the part where I'm not claiming anything. I'm just thinking, if this was in America and it was a white American trying to tell anybody from another country with diversity, let's say like Mexico or even another Asian country, I think, chat, I'm gonna say I think it would be frowned upon for them to belittle someone and almost pressure them into adopting American cultural things. Chat, am I cooking with that? There is a lot of pressure in American culture to not force people to do the thing that's in their culture. So do we also apply that to other countries? If he's been living alone in Japan until this year, how would he know this? I mean, just generally having friends, I think. I don't know. Like, you are cooking. People should be considerate about the differences in culture, learning more, but also teaching. Okay, Biscuit. I'm glad people are seeing what I'm saying. Guys, we haven't finished the story either, so like, who knows what's gonna happen, but everyone sucks. That's kind of how I feel. At least so far, I'm a little bit more towards the everyone sucks here. I think if you are in someone else's country, maybe you should get yourself acquainted with the different cultural things that they do, but I also don't think it's right for somebody to like belittle someone and yell at them for not understanding and maybe even accepting those cultures when they grew up in a different culture. I'd say he should know more about the culture by now, but also I'd have some grace with someone who didn't grow up in the culture and make sure they are aware next time. Tonya, I think that's a good point. I'm not even sure this is a cultural issue. Help clean with your partner. That's a good point, Blasty Pie. I think for me to die on that hill though, we need to know if OP is a good husband in general. At least from what we've read so far, we can't make that decision. I think she knows if she asks me to do something, I will 100% do it without questions, but she expects me to know everything, and if I don't, she throws a tantrum and attacks me for not knowing. While I'm mid-cleaning, I tell her she doesn't support me to understand her values since she doesn't communicate them, and when something isn't up to her standards, she takes out her anger on me. It's been a constant theme to our fights and always ending with her saying, "Okay, I won't expect anything from you from now on." I've just about hit my wit's end because she compares me to herself or others and puts me down by saying, "I don't think your goals are suitable for you," or "I'm so jealous that her boyfriend does X." I think she is unaware of her feelings of contempt since she could easily say, I wish we could do this, or I support you in your decision. I don't think this one is appropriate. Well, I also don't think this one is very appropriate either. Because at that point, you're pitting your boyfriend against someone else's boyfriend and comparing them when you could just easily be like, hey, I noticed that you don't do this. I would really appreciate it if you did this. That's better than communicating via being like, oh, I'm jealous of my friend because her boyfriend does this and you don't. This is an interesting one, guys. I don't think Am I the Devil cooked with this one. When I bring up my feelings about how she makes me feel, she always flips it around saying, well, you never do X. It's not that I want to make her feel bad. It's just I can't imagine a world where your soulmate tries to put you down, make you feel small, and not chase after new goals or ambitions you have, and instead compare those things to who I am now and how she feels about me. It's really sad because I love her and believe she can do anything she can put her mind to and support her in everything in life, and she puts me down for not being good enough for things I want to do. This new year, I told her I want to stay home and not go to her friend's party because I feel completely insignificant and not good enough for her. I think she would be happier with a Japanese partner because all we ever seem to fight about is how I'm not good enough. When I bring up how I feel not good enough, she rolls her eyes and says something like, here we go again, and completely ignores the fact that she's making me feel this way, thinking it would solve the issue if I just change or do something different. I don't know what to do anymore. If anyone has been in a similar situation, marriage or divorce, do you think things will get better if we stick it out? I want to communicate and set boundaries on how to prevent arguments like this, but she blocks out anything I suggest and says she won't expect anything anymore when I really think it's impossible for her to. Okay, so the caption was, I'm a man-child and blame everybody. Listen, is there probably stuff that OP could do better? Yes, I don't disagree with that. I'm not excusing the wife's behavior at all. I think the wife is also toxic as shit. Whether or not you believe that what I brought up about telling somebody who's from a different country that they need to adhere to your country's traditions and cultures or whatever, whether you disagree with that or not, I don't think OP's the devil. I just think everyone sucks here. What are the comments saying? He went to the gym for over 3 hours and considered that coming home earlier than he planned. That's crazy, especially on a holiday. Okay, that's what we're focusing on? Like, sure, maybe he could spend less time at the gym. Oh no, he's literally fucking Satan. Okay, did you see his post history? He has 2 other posts in the past year where his wife is clearly frustrated with him and his lack of effort to learn the language and the culture of the country he's been living in for at least 4 years. He's not learned anything since those, so I doubt he'll learn anything now. Okay, Nelly Fish said weaponized incompetence. I could see that. Like I said, guys, I don't think OP is a complete angel by any means, but I also think it's a little bit of a stretch to say his wife isn't in the wrong either. Everyone sucks. That's how I feel, man. I don't think this is black and white. I think this is holy shit, y'all need to go to therapy and figure it the fuck out. I regret every second I cheated on my wife. I cheated on my wife last summer. I was spiraling in depression for years, and towards the end, I started blaming everything on my loved ones, including my wife. My colleague was there. She was understanding and warm. She cared. The guilt was crippling, and I told my wife. I think she was in shock at first, but when it was over, she told me it was over between us. She never shed a single tear or yelled or begged. We have 2 daughters together. My colleague lost all her interest in me gradually, and about 2 weeks ago, she broke things off. I dropped my girls off at their mother's on Sunday. It was the first time I didn't celebrate Christmas with them. My wife looked happy and content. I just realized that she was the bright light in my depression and always has been, and yet I blamed her for feeling shit because I liked the attention of someone else. My wife asked me how I was because I looked depressed. I couldn't tell her anything, just that I was fine, but that it felt weird that this was the first Christmas I was spending alone. I told her that my relationship was over. Her expression didn't change. She didn't even look like she was gloating. She just simply said, well, you could always tell her that we are back together if you want a relationship with her. I was taken aback by how calm and sure she sounded. Wait, Chat, can you explain that to me? I don't understand what she was saying there. What? Chat, am I stupid? The wife was saying she was only interested because he was married. Ah, thank you. Really needed that one spelled out for me. Holy fuck. Okay, now I get it. That's funny as fuck. Good for her. When I got home, I tried it, not because I wanted anything to do with my colleague. I was just curious why my wife would believe that. Since then, she has been sending me tons of texts, warm and flirtatious, asking me if I missed her and if I had the time to meet. I threw my life away for this. The wife kind of fucking ate, bro. Okay, all right. Finally, Am I the Devil's cooking? This is really, truly a devil, but also a devil that got what he deserved. Why am I hard right now, chat? No, I'm not actually hard. Don't worry. I haven't been hard in years. Am I the a-hole for having my daughter watch over her brothers at the mall? I, 45 female, am a mom to 4 kids. JC, 21 female, Kylie, 16 female, James, 8 male, and Jordan, 6 male. Kylie, James, and Jordan are the kids involved with this. Kylie and I had originally planned a mommy-daughter day at the mall, and my husband was going to take James and Jordan to his work for the day. However, once James and Jordan realized we were going to the mall, they begged to come and no longer wanted to go with their dad to his work. There was no convincing them. So I agreed, and Kylie was upset because it was supposed to be just us two. There was no convincing them. You're their parent. You shouldn't have to convince them. They should just have to listen to you because you're the parent. Like, tell them no. This day is for Kylie. We got to the mall and I wanted to check out Bath and Body Works, but James and Jordan wanted to go to the arcade and toy stores. I asked Kylie to take him there so I could go myself to Bath and Body Works. None of my kids can really go in there because they all get migraines from the smells. She tried to argue out of it, but I threatened to take them all home and I'll tell her brothers it was because of her. Insane threat as a parent. Oh, hey, I know this day was supposed to be about you, but instead I brought the brothers and now I'm gonna make you babysit them, and not only threaten to take them home if you refuse to babysit them, but then tell your brothers that it was all because of you. Just fucking insane work. She reluctantly agreed and I gave them cash to split. I have to admit, I think I got much more done bringing them all there and having Kylie watch them than I would have if I only brought Kylie and went around with her the whole day. I ended up shopping a few stores and scored some pretty good after Christmas deals. We met up again. Kylie was upset because apparently she wasn't allowed to go into the store she wanted to because her brothers were too loud and she didn't want to get kicked out. I was already ready to go and didn't want to stay any longer, so I told her we could come back another time. She was upset and wouldn't speak the entire way home. When we got home, she told me she wanted the day to just be for us and that she didn't have any fun. I told her that life doesn't always go as planned and told her that I feel the same as a parent going shopping before she matured. She is still upset with me and thinks I purposely sabotaged our mommy-daughter day. My husband said I was an a-hole, but otherwise won't get involved. I mean, this line is crazy. Oh, well, that's how my day is every time as a parent. Yeah, that's because you fucking decided to have kids. You chose that. Don't force that not only on another person, but also on your child, who's still a child, not a parent, not even an adult. I know not everyone relates to this, but it's times when I read stories like this and I'm like, you know what? My mom kind of cooked a little bit, you know? Was she perfect? No. Did she not do shit like this? Yes. Shout out Kathy. We love Kathy. My wife stopped sleeping with me. How far is too far? We have a 33 male OP, 29 female wife. I should probably give a trigger warning here just in case. I haven't actually read this story, but based off the title, I'm guessing it's going to have some SA talk. So if that triggers you and you need to leave the live stream or the video, please do so. My wife and I have been together almost 10 years and have 2 kids together. One in elementary school and the other is a toddler. We've been through dry spells before, but to me, this feels different. With our first kid, for the first few years, we definitely took a hit to our love life, but we'd still make it happen at least once or twice a week. However, 2 to 3 years ago, my wife started telling me basically that she felt like I was sexually objectifying her with a lot of my affection throughout the day. Then she started rejecting my advances a lot more, which was apparent and significant to me because I realized in the absence of sex that I was already really the only one initiating. So I intentionally started taming myself down a lot to protect her feelings and bodily autonomy. It was slow and difficult at first, but I realized that when I lowered the amount of physical affection I was giving her, my libido also dropped. This seemed like a win for a while because even though we weren't having sex, I didn't really care for it strongly anyway. But since we bought our first home about a year and a half ago, things have been really hard. She complains regularly about not feeling loved or special, so I try to never say no, and I always get her treats and make/order meals so she doesn't have to cook, let her have everything she asks for basically, and started getting her more flowers, etc. But she keeps talking about physical affection. The problem is she seems to genuinely forget and underestimate all the little back and arm grazes of my hands, random hugs and forehead kisses, etc. that I give her all day. So I overcompensate by being even more affectionate, which she seems to enjoy. But I find myself being turned on and having brief moments of arousal throughout the day, which build up to restless nights in bed next to her, where I know she can't be bothered with sex, and yet here I am, unable to sleep or do anything about it. I mean, bro. Like, what are we doing? Oh no, I can't do anything about it except for go into the bathroom and let the kitties swim in the pool, you know? Like, I mean, that's not the right term. I think that means taking a shit. Letting the seed Jerking yourself off, okay? I can't think of the... We're 4 hours in, chat. You can't expect my brain to be smart right now. Drain the pipe. Thank you, Woof. That would have been so much more elegant than what I said. That led to a problem where I basically try to cozy up to her in the middle of the night in hopes that she'll be less likely to fight me off? Words you should never use about your partner, let alone your spouse, less likely to fight me off. In response, she stopped sharing the bed with me altogether most nights and prefers to sleep with our toddler, which in the last 12 months resulted in us having sex about 6 or 7 times total. Hey man, I don't think sex is the part of your marriage that's wrong. I think it's you. If your wife wants to sleep in a different bed than you, you're fucking up. Meanwhile, though I've been fortunate enough with genetics that I've largely hidden my age for a long time, I'm starting to notice my hair thinning in the shower, my hairline receding, memory and general cognition declining, my confidence plummeting, which I think is making me feel less masculine and more neurotic and emotionally sensitive. And maybe as a result, my motivation giving away to depression. Years ago, I survived cancer, which gave me a new perspective of life, so I've turned to taking my musical and creative hobbies more seriously, and now I'm getting out of the house more to play gigs and such. What does this fucking have to do with you borderline R-wording your wife? Oh, that's cool. Let's get back to the part about you SAing your wife. But I'm worried that this is just trading one desire for another, and eventually this lack of intimacy will lead us to breaking up, or worse yet, me cheating. Look, you shouldn't cheat, but I'd much rather have you cheat on your wife than SA her. I'll die on that hill. Cheating is bad, but the other one is illegal and way worse. Holy crap, this guy needs to be taken out back. Not taken out back, taken behind the barn, if you know what I'm saying. Put down. May I recommend castrate? I'm not that person at all, and I've never cheated as I'm very monogamous, and I've always felt sex wasn't as good or fulfilling without a strong emotional connection and lots of trust. I can't believe what I'm fucking reading right now. I just gotta keep reading. This hurts. But there are times lately when I've genuinely wondered if this is right for a healthy young guy slash couple, and even thought about trying to find a shady massage parlor just to get off, as even masturbation isn't cutting it for me anymore. Am I screwed? How do I save my romantic life with my wife? Someone added that one of his comments on the post was, to be fair, I guess I crossed a boundary multiple times when I tried to initiate sex while she was sleeping. Yeah, man, that might be the real issue here. I mean, oh, wee woo, God forbid she doesn't want to give you sex because she's not horny. But, you know, the real problem is that you just can't get off. It's not the fact that you've SA'd your wife multiple times and clearly don't see that as a problem. Chat, we have it. Here we go. The real devil, the devil of the video. Should we start that, chat? Should we start devil of the video award? Because this guy fucking wins it. That is disgusting. I want to go take a shower. You're the a-hole. You are the worst human being on the planet. He is already cheating on his wife with his massive and criminal ego. He's in love with himself and even worshiping himself. So his wife and the massage parlor people are probably his sacrificial objects. Yeah, no doubt, Lael. I'm guessing he has a extremely flawed perspective on women and their roles. This is the trad wife guy. The guy who's like, oh, my wife is just there to be my sex object. Whenever I am horny, she should just have my babies and have sex with me. This guy probably has a sex addiction. I agree, Fury. Or at least just has an unhealthy relationship with sex, because he did say he was fine for a little bit, like, especially if you can't just like get yourself off with masturbation, like, and then giving his wife affection made him horny, like, sir. I mean, okay, don't get me wrong, I can kind of see that. I'm kind of like that, like when I give a girl that I love affection, I get a little horny, but it's not like I'm like, oh my god, I'm so horny that I'm going to SA you in your sleep. I could be fully housing a messy plate of chicken wings and my husband would look at me and be like, damn girl, bring that ass over here. Yeah, see, listen bro, that's how I am. When I'm really attracted to someone, I'm like, bro, you could be shitting, you could be having the most diarrhea infused shit of your entire life, and I'd be like, but your ass did that? Like, that's how much I'm attracted to people when I'm attracted to them. You know what I'm saying? That might have been a bad take. I said what I said. I would die on that hill. Fiancé gave me an ultimatum to get married. I still want to marry him, but he won't give up on it. Please help. We got a male 37 fiancé and a female 34 OP. I met Mark, fiancé, 3 years ago. It was one of the hardest times of my life, but he made it better for me, and I was in love. We got engaged 5 months ago and we were wedding planning until the ultimatum. Before I met him, I was married to Jared, male 34. We were together since college and naturally we got married and wanted to settle down. A year into our marriage, I got pregnant and eventually gave birth to a little girl named Lana. I was so overjoyed, as was Jared, and it felt like our family was complete. However, as Lana began growing, I noticed her becoming more attached to Jared than she was to me. She would cry nonstop if I was trying to hold her, but the moment he held her, she'd stop. Her first word was dad, and everything seemed to be for her dad and not me. I'll admit, I got a little jealous and was hoping she'd come around to me eventually, but she never did. After 3 years of feeling like I meant nothing for her, I no longer wanted to be around her as it was painful and I was resenting her. I served Jared divorce papers and signed away my custody to him, agreeing to pay child support since I no longer wanted to even see Lana. I decided to start over, and that's when I met Mark. So let me get this straight. You abandoned your child for not liking you when said child was between the ages of 0 to 2. A time in a child's life where they can't rationally decide whether or not they like you or not because they're a fucking baby. And you were like, it doesn't like me, I'm out. I don't know how anybody would want to marry you after that. Dead ass, I meet the love of my life. She checks all my boxes, and then I hear that she abandoned her child because she was jealous of how this literal baby didn't seem to like her. That would give me the ick. He never knew the full story because he knew I was uncomfortable with talking about it, but he knew I used to be married. He knew nothing about the kid and thought my payments were alimony to Jared. However, he somehow found out, either through one of my friends or Jared contacted him. So far, nobody has fessed up, and Mark won't say. And it's been rough. Mark said that he wants me to try reconciliation with Lana and is upset I abandoned her. He doesn't understand the pain I went through realizing the baby I gave birth to didn't love me and thinks I can just solve this like it's a sitcom and everything can be happy in the end. Mark has given me an ultimatum that either I try reconnecting with Lana or he's calling off our engagement. He says he doesn't want to marry someone who will casually drop her kids over what he thinks is an inconvenience. I don't think Lana even remembers me, honestly, and it'll be too painful for me to try to talk to her again because of all the memories before I walked out of her life. I really want to marry Mark, but I don't want anything to do with Lana. Is there anything I can do to convince him not to push the ultimatum anymore? I mean, girl, you're fucking lucky this guy is giving you an ultimatum, because I would have just been like, yeah, you're a piece of shit. This would truly be a we fucking woo moment in my head where I'm like, wait a minute, maybe. Just maybe I shouldn't marry this woman who lied about having a kid when we were about to get married and legally tied together for life, but also abandoned said kid over something that is ridiculous. I'm sorry. If your baby doesn't like you between the ages of 0 to even like 4 or 5, yeah, bro, that child isn't gonna remember that time in their life. They don't know what they're doing. They're trying to remember to breathe. Get over it. And further, hey man, when you have a child, you are, in my opinion, choosing to stick with that child no matter what. Unless you give it up for adoption or something like that, that is your child. If it fucking hates you for no reason, hey, guess what? You decided to procreate. This is posted in r/advice. How can I have a relationship with my granddaughter? My husband and I are 46 and 48 years old and have been married for 28 years. We have 2 sons, Tom, 28, and Nick, 26. Tom got married to his wife, Natalie, 28, in 2020 during the pandemic. We lived in a different state for a few years before moving to another state for my husband's work. Tom had always wanted to move back to what he considered his home state where Natalie lived. He made the 12-hour move alone despite his father and I objecting and started dating Natalie pretty much as soon as he moved there. We didn't see much of them and didn't know much about the girl before they got married. She has a degree and a steady job, which is good, and is pretty, which seemed to be enough for Tom. Sorry guys, I think the timeline on this isn't really explained very well. Like, I think this is all pre them getting married. Like, they moved to another state for the husband's work, then Tom moved back to the state they were previously in to be with Natalie. This is probably in like 2016, and then in 2020 they got married. I think that's the timeline. I just wanted to explain that because it's a little confusing. In the beginning, I tried to get to know her during our 1 to 2 time a year visits for holidays, but she didn't seem very interested in having a relationship with me. Tom says she's introverted, but it sort of always came off as rude. She seems to have a lot of Facebook friends and gets many phone calls from friends, etc. So I don't see how she can be introverted. I mean, that's not what introverted means, but no, but actually, you're what? Tom and Natalie had a baby girl last year and I became a grandma for the first time. My granddaughter was early and spent about 20 days in the NICU. so we really didn't get a chance to bond with her when we visited during the birth. Natalie is extremely overprotective and shut down any attempt to travel to us or have us travel to visit after the birth, but Tom says it's because of trauma and to give her time. My husband and I and other son decided we wanted to be closer to family, so we moved about 30 minutes away from where Tom and Natalie are. Despite us being closer, Natalie still hardly ever brings my granddaughter to visit or allows us to come over. In the last 6 months, we have maybe had dinner 6 times. Natalie won't let the baby out of her sight and deliberately tries to interrupt anytime I have to bond with my grandchild. When I've tried to express how much it hurts my feelings to Tom, he says he won't discuss it without Natalie. I feel like she has threatened him and doesn't allow him to have private conversations with his family. Over Christmas dinner, I tried to tell Natalie that I would be willing to babysit my granddaughter while she works. She said no because her mother already watches her 5 days a week. I tried to point out how unfair it is that Natalie's mother gets so much time with the baby, but she says it's not about that and it's convenient. Tom says Natalie has anxiety and her mother watching the baby doesn't make her anxious, and she would be anxious if I had her because my home isn't baby-proof. I raised my 2 sons just fine and never baby-proofed anything. Natalie and her parents are Mormon and have very different values than my family. Natalie has made faces when my husband drinks and smokes around her and seems very judgy. She has even forced Tom to quit drinking. Artistic LJ said, yeah, OP is keeping something out of the story. I don't disagree with that. What I will say, I can see the whole Mormon thing trying to alienate the people who aren't Mormon. I grew up around a lot of Mormons, y'all, and some of the shit they be doing is low-key manipulative. Listen, bro, if you're a Mormon, I wish you the best life, but you are in a cult. I have friends who were Mormon and are not Mormon anymore, and they've explained this shit to me. Go and listen about Mormon lore and then come back to me and tell me that that shit doesn't sound fucking crazy. I'm sorry if there's a Mormon in here and they hate me now. Listen, you're entitled to believe whatever you want. That being said, I'm also entitled to sit here and be like, that's fucking crazy that you believe that. I think OP is definitely hiding something. I will not disagree with that. I don't know if you guys caught on, but they are very young grandparents. Like OP had the first son when they were 18 years old. I doubt they were extremely competent parents. That being said, the Mormon thing, I'm not gonna lie, I read that and I was like, oh, okay. Reading this, guys, like, now I don't want to give Natalie the benefit of the doubt, low-key. This, to me, feels a little manipulative, chat. I feel like my son has been taken away from me, and now I don't have access to my only granddaughter. I feel like they are all trying to make me out to be a bad person. My husband won't get involved, and neither will my sons. I feel like it was pointless for us to move closer because Natalie doesn't want me to have a relationship with my granddaughter. At this point, I think we may as well just move away. Okay, and here is some additions from their post on Am I the A-hole? I've tried to have a conversation with Natalie before about my feelings. When I cry and get upset about how deeply this hurts me, she turns off and tells Tom I'm being manipulative. That's why I try to talk to him alone. Another addition. I could understand if her anxiety was real, but I don't think that it is. She doesn't take meds or anything and seems to use it as an excuse for everything. I think this is an everyone sucks here, but I also think I want and need more information. Don't get me wrong. I don't think she should invalidate her anxiety. That being said, unless OP is just like a terrible mother, a terrible grandmother who would put this child in serious levels of danger, a grandmother's place in a child's life should be there unless the grandmother is an awful person or she's dead. Are there a couple of raised eyebrow things in here? Absolutely. Am I 100% confident that this kid would not be safe with OP? No. I get it. Anxiety is tough, but like the solution to the problem of, oh, I have anxiety that your mother would be taking care of our kid. The solution to that isn't, well, then I'm going to keep this kid away from her grandmother. The solution is, how do we figure out how to relieve that anxiety? How do we start building a foundation where I can feel more confident in being less anxious about your mother having the baby? Because also, like, I'm not saying this is the case, but there are people in this world that use anxiety as a way to manipulate things in their favor. I don't think that the OP should be invalidating the anxiety, but I'm not saying that that's completely impossible. It sounds like the wife is doing whatever she can to make sure this child doesn't have outside influence that isn't Mormon. And maybe this is my Mormonism is kind of crazy bias, biased, but low-key, guys, I have a bad feeling. That's the only way I can explain it, guys. I do not feel comfortable saying that for sure this wife isn't being malicious here. The son didn't seem Mormon, I think. Here's the thing, y'all. Hardcore Mormons don't marry non-Mormons or people that they can't convert to Mormonism. Would I be the a-hole for ending a relationship with a girl via a poem? Before we finish up this last story, if you've gotten this far into the video, that probably means that you're enjoying it. And if that's the case, all I ask is that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future reading Reddit videos. I upload 2 a week. They're usually 40+ minutes and they go up every Monday and Thursday. On top of that, I have over 110 reading Reddit videos on my channel. So if you're looking for your daily dose of drama, head on over to my channel for hours and hours of reading Reddit stories just like this one. 5 years ago, I, 30 male, had a casual hookup with a girl, 31 female. Earlier this year, we reconnected and things started to progress more seriously. It seemed like she was interested in pursuing a relationship, but I wasn't convinced we were compatible long term. Okay, I fucked up by replacing their error with relationship. It should be, would I be the a-hole for ending a hookup with a girl via a poem? Or maybe situationship? I don't fucking know. OP sounds very confused. Rather than let things develop further, I decided to end it. However, I did so over text and chose to convey my feelings in the form of a poem. For a time, we were arm in arm, walked down this ever-winding path full of bliss and splendor, till we arrived upon a forked road. I thought nothing of it. I simply glanced over and without much more than a thought, forged onwards. For you, a glance could never be enough. You simply had to know the happenings of its undertaking. Was it as winding as our path? As narrow or wide as the one you meandered once before? And at first, I think we both hoped the other would soon enough follow, but I was too bent on keeping course. Whether out of fear or determination, this was the road I had come to know and seek comfort in. While you leaped for a new adventure, the unbeaten path was too good an opportunity to pass on by. Time went by, then periods, then ages passed, walking down past that fork road where we last saw each other. Each one of us learning a little more with every passing moment. I came to see that moment as such. 2 branches from a tree would soon stem out from one another to seek out the sun, if for nothing else, to grow. You know what, chat? You might as well just put a bullet in her fucking brain at that point, because what the fuck is this? Are you thinking about writing a poem to break up with me? Just take me out back behind the barn and fucking put me down like Fido, because fuck this. No way does bro think, yeah, this is the best way to break up with someone. I thought this was a creative and meaningful way to express my feelings, but I've since heard from mutual friends that she was hurt by how I handled it. They said it came off as impersonal and dismissive, which wasn't my intention at all. Am I the a-hole for choosing this poetic approach? If someone broke it off with me like this, I wouldn't even be sad. I think I would look at this fucking poem and be like, huh, maybe I dodged a bullet here. Like, what the fuck? This seems like the egomaniac who went to college for like fucking philosophy or something and thinks his dick is the biggest swinging dick around when it's actually a micro penis. Bro thinks his shit don't stink. He think that anything that he says or writes down on a piece of paper is worth publishing. Shit ass poem? I agree, Echo. It's not even that great of a poem. Like, bro, if you're gonna break up with someone via poem, that poem better be the goddamn best poem that ever done been written. No way you're gonna come out with that mid-ass shit like that.